Hi, everyone. Ken here, back with the Reviv podcast. We have Nikki today as our special guest from Indiana. Nikki started a couple months ago, but I think she's a good case of it's not just been like a straight line journey. So it's been challenging. So I think she's had some stops and starts. And we're here to discuss all that very openly. So welcome, Nikki.
Thank you. Appreciate the conversation.
Yeah. And so you're in Indiana.
I'm in Indiana, yes.
Nice. That looks great back there, by the way. I live in Bangkok, so like
Yeah, I
whenever I
do
see
have
it.
lots of space.
Yeah, I know. I'm so jealous. I live in a concrete jungle that is smoggy and but so and maybe if you can give a little bit about your health history, kind of what brought you to Revive, what were you dealing with before?
Nothing. I wasn't doing anything before. I suppose it started when I was 16. I was in a car accident. I wasn't driving, but I didn't have my seatbelt on, and my face hit the dash, and this was an open gash from where my teeth hit my jaw. They stitched me up, inside muscles, outside, and nothing seemed, this would have been in probably 1989, so long time ago. I didn't seem to have anything major, and so they, you're good, you're stitched up, you're done. At some point, I realized, I don't remember when, but so that would have been like my sophomore year of high school, and I do know that around my freshman year of college, I started clenching, and also my parents were getting divorced, and this is just how my jaw opens. Like, can you see the same side starts and opens and closes. And so I went to, I don't know what they're called. I don't know what they did, but used all the paper and tried to saw all my teeth down. It's a very crude way of saying they tried to level my bite, which probably took all the curve of spee out and all the things that I may have had going for me. I don't know. Again, I'm not very educated on how I speak about it.
So you
There it is.
were clenching in college and you went to a dentist about the clenching and he wanted to level your bite?
It was somebody like a TMJ person, and then they made a splint. They did all the, I had to bite on the paper a gazillion times, and they leveled everything out. What I understand now is that I also had my neck wasn't lined up correctly. So you can do all this to your teeth, and if your neck is unstable, your teeth aren't gonna be stable. I figured that out because after all that, I went to chiropractors and all this stuff and tried to find, but then it's just when you're dealing, a lot of people don't understand it's both, which is, I mean, it's when you're in it, it's very logical, but you kind of don't understand it until retrospectively, right? It seems like that's what you've kind of discovered too.
I just want to clarify what they did. So when you say they were leveling with this paper, they were leveling the splint or they were actually like leveling your teeth
My
according to
teeth,
this?
my teeth.
Okay, so they were like putting articulating paper between your upper and lower teeth,
And
figuring
then
out where,
drilling.
and then drilling the teeth on wherever like the spots were darker. So they were like trying to even out your teeth and how they made contact. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's a very bad idea.
I know.
Right. But
This was, like I said, the car accident would have been in about 89, and so we're talking they did that in 91, 92.
okay, and a TMJ specialist. So they leveled your bite, but then they anyway put you in a splint. Like, what
Mhm.
was the logic there?
Well, that's gonna stabilize your bite. That was and prevent the clenching. I don't really remember much happening from that, to be honest. I think I just naturally stopped clenching on my own. That was that. I felt responsible for doing what they said was gonna work, though. You fall into that trap of what they know when you don't know what's going on with with yourself. And, so and it was kind of a new thing back then, and they had supposedly helped a lot of people, so did that event, and then, I don't know, that's about that. I had another splint made by my regular dentist several years later.
So you wore
Um,
that splint that they gave you for several years?
o on and off, I slept with it.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
like, you know, just the upper, but
Okay, and it was
supposedly to fit, and
and it
I realized it didn't. Over time, I just shifted, and it's not like I'm all crooked or anything. It's just, and like I said, I went to chiropractors and this and that, and I was just like, "You people don't, you think you've got it figured out. You think you've got it figured out, but it's both, and neither one of you." So I just kind of quit, and I don't have. I am fortunate. It does open and close all wonky. I mean, I can't eat maybe chips and salsa as long as I would like, but I really don't have a lot of pain. But I recognize a lot of what you speak about, and I feel like a fraud by saying proactive at this point because I'm 52 and this has been going on since I was 16. But I do want to be smart about it. So I've tried the Revive. Um,
but 1 second before you jump to that, I just
yeah.
wanted to make sure. So, you had this other splint made, and then you stopped, and then basically, like, you didn't have any other dental work for the next 30 years or something, or
Not for the jaw issue.
okay. So you're like you were functional and you didn't have any major health issues.
I mean, I've had migraines on and off since I was 5 years old, so I can't say that the headaches were after that. I think it complicates things now. I think there's a structural aspect that can trigger a migraine because of my jaw, but handful of times a month. I do pretty well at maintaining them, but I don't like to take medication. And I do have something that works, but I don't wanna take it. That's the trick, is I want to use this, and I understand sometimes you have to bust through some pain, but when it flips into a migraine, that's kinda like, I don't want that anymore. So, and I don't wanna I feel like the more I might take the medicine, I would desensitize myself to its ability, and I don't see anybody for that anymore either. Actually, the medication my dad gets for free because he's through the VA, and, um, he caught me on day 5 a few years ago of trying to tough it out. He's like, "Just try one of these," and I did, and I was like, "Oh my god," like, after an hour, it was just gone. I say flipping into a migraine because a lot of times it starts right here, which is this is where the car wreck was. It'll start here, but once it flips and goes, so that's what I try to avoid. I
Okay.
think that's
And
common
then
sense.
before Revive, besides the migraines, any other like major health issues, or you were relatively
Mm-mm,
healthy?
pretty healthy.
And no orthodontics or
I
aesthetic
did. I
issues.
had I thought my mom doesn't remember, but I thought they pulled 2 molars up here and 2 molars down here, and then I had braces s for 2 years, 7th, 8th grade, something like that, and then I had my wisdom teeth pulled out at, in high school.
But you never attributed your issues to that. You always attributed more to the accident.
Well, yeah, because I'd never heard anything like how you and your support group on what everyone else's story is. I don't people don't just people don't talk about it.
And so you, in 7th or 8th grade, so you were like 12, 13 years old, you had probably premolars taken out, I would guess. Like molars are usually not taken out
I don't
uh
know.
at a
I had a
brace.
lot of crowding, and they were somewhere in the middle, here and down here. 'Cause they didn't give I remember because they didn't give me anything for it, and I didn't know what to expect, and it was this massive, like, down, and I was like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you don't forget that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Premolars are still back there, like, in the middle, but, like, molars are very big, and they don't usually take them out for crowding because they kinda
Okay, good.
realize that
I'm glad to hear that.
oh, yeah. Okay, so you did braces and that, but you didn't have any. And then so then the motivation for Revive was you just saw an ad or
I did see an ad, and I don't I think I just I honestly don't remember, um, because I started researching a lot of these mouth guards, but yours when I heard you speak, you just sounded different, and I I just dove in, and I was just like, "Yeah, like, that other stuff, it sounds gimmicky." Like, I've been to so many people, they say, and for headaches and stuff too, so, I'm just like, I'm doing it my way. I do my own research and, so, I I decided to give it a try.
okay, gotcha. So you started a couple months ago
Mhm.
with the Revive 1, I guess,
Right,
right?
yes, yes.
And then how did the first, like, week or so go?
I just gave myself permission to try to sleep in it, and if I and the crappy thing with the headaches is I wake up with them in the middle of the night a lot of times. So, I just was like, don't stress, don't worry, put it in if you wake up and you can take it out." And I didn't care how obviously, this is a long very long journey for me. Like, I don't care how long this takes, we'll just very slowly acclimate to having this in. And I feel like I did a pretty good job with that. And then I don't have I thought I would wake up and feel like I had, like, this super sore mouth because some people wake up with that, and I didn't at all. Interestingly, the only soreness I have is my bottom 2 front teeth. That's it. But my bite, I after I wear it for a significant amount of time, and there are many days where I can wear it for a couple hours during the day as well, and I bought the plackers, so I try to use those, and if I feel like last week, I had enough headaches, so I'm just like, "Nope." So I just wore the plackers, I slept in them and wear them all through the day, and that does do a little something. Um, not enough to feel like you're really moving, but it's a little something. I tried to play pickleball in the plackers. I realize they I don't talk as well with
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
I try to
They
ride
don't
my
stay on
bike.
the teeth so well.
No, yeah, especially I guess when I'm at home and this and that, I thought I spoke more than I did with them, but I didn't. So I thought I know that you and it makes sense to me to move in other ways while you're trying to work on these biomechanics. So and I ride my bike and, I play a decent amount of pickleball, so I do try to use it when I do those things. So what made me kinda stop was I don't think the headaches were because of the Revive, I will say that. I'm also 52 and, hormones are changing, and that is also an impact of the headaches. So,
And the headache started when? Like, a few weeks after, or what are you talking about?
Um, no, I don't I can't honestly say that I ever feel like, "Oh my gosh, I got a headache because 'cause I've had the Revive in too long." It's just there are times when things are too sensitive to risk any fluctuation, and I have to just hold the course to level out. I don't know if that makes sense, but so if I do wear it for a significant amount of time, it does pull my jaw forward, and I definitely feel like my chin is recessed, like you speak about with all the stuff. And my head feels small. But I don't have like, I mean, but then again, how would I know? I mean, this happened when I was 16 years old. There wasn't one like, oh gosh, like my health is crumbling right after this. I mean, it was something to get through, but I don't know. I don't know that maybe I know any different. Does that make sense?
It sounds like you were making some progress with the Revive and with the plackers. And then at some point, you decided to take a break, right? Or how did that happen?
Yeah, I think got into kind of a week of having headaches, I think for other reasons. And because of that, I just can't risk something. I just had to stop. And so now I'm gonna be starting all over again, which is fine.
Did the headaches feel the same or more or less the same? And they started pretty much right after you were wearing the Revive. Like, I'm not
No,
saying it triggered, but
no, no. I don't think the Revive triggers migraines or headaches for me, which is great. But when I experience them for other reasons, I can't risk it. So I back off. And maybe that's why, and that's another reason why I wanted to have this conversation, because maybe you've had other people who've had headaches and jaws that open all wonky and, you know, I guess I'm a little afraid to push it too far. Sometimes, so when I really got on kind of a kick and was wearing the Revive a lot and I felt my jaw come forward, I don't touch on any teeth. My bite is not on any teeth. I'm just kind of like top and bottom on my 2 front teeth. My 2 front teeth get sore, but it doesn't. That's no big deal. I can still eat. And then sometimes when I open, the clickiness is different, and that kinda weirded me out, I guess. And I don't feel like there's a dentist or a professional around here that I could go to and be like, "Hey, I'm doing this, like, what do you think?" So I don't know. I did go to one person several years ago, made some sort of, again, it was a splint, and maybe it's a really good thing that it didn't work out. But he's like, "Well, we can tell," but he's like, put his fingers in my ear, and he had me open my jaw, and the level of crunchiness and he was like, "Nah, you're not a candidate, and if you don't have pain, don't do anything, like, just leave it." So I was like, "Alright, just keep pushing through the best I can," right? 'Cause I wanna get to the point where I feel like things are stretching and all this stuff without worrying that I'm, I guess, too far gone to make it, like, if I have such structural, maybe deterioration to the ligaments and tendons in this area, like, but I do believe that the body's built to self-correct if supported to do so. It's just weird. It's a tricky thing.
yeah, I think everything will correct. I've damaged myself numerous times, especially in 2014, well on my way to a neurological disease. They saw bleeding like in an x-ray later on my skull, and I just wasn't retaining information at all for months in 2014. And like now, like I feel like I function better than I'm 25. And so I don't know what happened to these structures, but I have a feeling they're just healing. And um so I don't think there's any such thing as too far gone. Like I think the body is just very smart. And about the jaw opening wonky, like for me that's just physics. It's like when you look at how the jaw fits into this, this the skull and the condyle and how the joint works. And then you just imagine, like, okay, imagine that this is sitting in a balloon and you took the air out of the balloon. What's going to happen to this jaw, which has a soft tissue attachment? Like, it's going to get jacked back, it's going to get twisted. And if you got to chew and it's in that position, like, it's going to open and close wonky, like, it has to.
I appreciate being part of the support group and big chicken, I guess, to an extent, but I'm gonna keep at it. And I guess because I don't bite down too hard, like my one is just fine. People talk about how they chew through it or something. That doesn't happen to mine's just lasting, but I do want to get the number 2 at some point. Yeah, but I was surprised at how easily I feel like it fit. I didn't feel, and I've got my mouth is small. Like I can't even put a fork between these two teeth. I can if you go back, but not the front. And it always just amazes me. I'm like, look, I can't, people don't, it's just my own little quirk. And then I found your stuff and all I think that's what it was. It was the palate. I started looking into and seeing videos on palate expansion. That's what it was. And then I found yours and I was like, oh, but this is not, so it would have been like a cosmetic reason I first looked at, like, it's just too narrow right here. Like, I would love for that to be, but there's no way I'm going through, you know, all the things. So, and then I became educated on, oh, like I can relate to some of these other things. And yeah, so that was what it was. I remember now. It's been a long journey.
If you stick with the mouth guard, like the palate expansion will happen. You know, a lot of folks have gotten some palate expansion. They posted pictures, but you know, like, and it'll happen the correct way because I don't think any of those expanders do it the correct way. Like they're just pushing on teeth and bone, and you gotta put the air into the skull, and then like the teeth just go for the ride.
Do you find that, like, because I notice nothing. I feel nothing on the top teeth when I wear the Revive. It's only bottom jaw. Does that, and when I think about it, I mean, that makes sense. This is the most pliable part of the skull would be the bottom jaw, right? So maybe that has to correct itself first, and after that becomes stabilized, then the top would adjust. Or maybe it's different for everybody.
I think it's different for everybody.
Yeah,
Like
that
I've
makes
never
sense.
been able to put together patterns, and so I just think like it's like a building that collapse, and you see a bunch of rubble, and like you're trying to put it back, but it's very complex, like how it collapsed on you as compared to me. But I think like you'll feel it on the lower, and then there was one day, you know, months from now, whatever, like then all of a sudden it'll be working the top. So
Okay, that's what I think. So I'm driving to Chicago tomorrow, which for me is about a 3.5 hour drive, and I'm probably gonna put the Revive in. But I guess another thing for me that, and I don't know if with your jaw, if you've ever, like, it's never locked in a bad position, but sometimes it'll does this tweaky thing and it makes me like, it's scary. And so I do notice that sometimes after I have it in for a while and then I talk, it kinda goes and I'm like, "Ah!" That's just weird. It's just a quick, not like a trigeminal neuralgia thing, not that. It's just very, it makes you, I guess it also, as I don't talk about this with anybody, so they can hear myself as I'm speaking about it, maybe I'm a little more anxious about the whole thing more than I realize. Like, I'm in a more protective mode more often than I thought. I don't know. Thanks for letting me get that out.
and I understand that because a lot of people like yourself have been through a lot of things, and you don't know if you're getting better or worse with what these doctors have to. And so, I hit the point where, okay, like I'm pretty confident, like I'm very confident that it works according to the basic principles of put something between your teeth, don't lock the bite, raise a little vertical, and you're going to be improving. And I've seen that consistently true. And now I'm seeing it consistently true with lots and lots of people. Right. And some people are going to have hard things happen. I'm not saying it's easy, but
Sure.
like what that allows you to do mentally, and especially if you see a lot of other people going through the process, and you see that it's consistently true, like nobody's getting hurt. Like, yeah, they're going through a tough time, but like everybody's improving. Everybody's like certain. And so then mentally you can think, okay, I'm gonna go through some weird stuff, and I still go through weird stuff. Today, like my hand was like numb for a while, but I just know that the way I interpret it is completely different. It's like, oh wow, like my body's now unwinding and stretching and uncompensating, and so like it's mentally like I just look at it as good things. I'm like, oh wow, cool, like this thing happened. And I think like at some point you hit that confidence where you see it consistently, like your body is like good things are happening, and then you just interpret it in a good way, even though it's a long journey.
So
So
so I'm just gonna plug along, and if I get nervous, I'm gonna put the plackers in and just always have a little something going on the best I can, and I'm gonna keep you posted. I try to do I don't know what the stretching is, like, I heard you say once about, like, biting on something and pulling, but I don't is that
Yeah,
did
you like not pulling. So I just put a towel. I call it, there's this torque test where I find what's tight and then I put towel or sometimes paper towel between my and I just hold it. And I find that if you find something tight and you just hold it, then I want to like there's things that my
that
jaw
would
want to do.
I would at right now, I would that would be 24/7, so I think I'll get to that point. I need to inflate the balloon a little bit more before I know what was like I said, like, this is just m my life, and I've adjusted fairly well, but I know things can get better, so
Yeah. Yeah, I think it get better, and then, like, the more theoretical part is I never go to the doctors. Like, I consider most of what the medical system is to be completely useless and
yeah,
built on the wrong
I hear
fundamentals,
you.
and my mom's, like, asking me about what my blood was, and I'm like, "I don't care." Like, like, I feel great, and I just feel like there's no chance right now, and I'm 48, of me having any serious illness anytime soon. Like, I just, like, instinctually, like, my body yeah, I feel it, and that's the other thing, we're getting to an age where, like, okay, I have friends that have cancer and this and that, and, like like, for me, it's just, like, I know with this process, I just don't think that it can even happen.
Yeah, honestly, without this kind of wonkiness, I 100% feel that way in my life, and I have done that because I have not done I decided, "No, that doesn't make sense." Uh, I have 2 children, 19 and 21, and I raised them, not necessarily the way they recommended in many ways, um and I've seen it. I've seen it. I also I worked in animal hospitals for 10 years, and I don't do things the way I remember a lot in the veterinary world. With my own, I've got a 17-year-old cat who still goes outside and, and he should be dead 7 times over according to what all so many things, you know. So I've lived that and I'm doing pretty well. I'm just this is gonna help take it next level.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna get there.
I I, my mom and my dad are such a interesting tale of this because my dad's 2 years older. My mom was always skinny, my dad was always a bit overweight, and she was a health nut, like, watching all the TV shows about health and radio shows, and she was doing yoga every day and doing ballroom dancing and doing this and that, like, 3 or 4 exercises their entire adult life. And my dad started wearing a mouth guard 2 years ago, and he's never really exercised. He's always eated like yeah, yeah, he started 2 years ago, so I didn't have one when he first started. He was wearing, like, something else, I think a shock doctor. Now he's wearing one of mine for almost a year, but, um, he looks great. Like, he looks younger than he did 2 years ago, and they went to a high school graduation for my brother's daughter recently, and, like, he was just telling me, like, "Ken, your mom looks, like, feeble," like, not in a bad way, like, he was worried about her. But it just shows you how this works, like, my dad's 78, she's 76, she did 3 or 4 hours of exercise, she would make fun of my dad all through, like, their 40s and 50s and 60s and get up and ball and dance, like, and now she's, like, the one that's kinda like this, and he's, like, jolly dad the way I remember him when he was 40 years old.
My mom was like, Jane Fonda and she taught aerobics and all this stuff, but she also and in this world and I've learned about, okay, what keeps your nervous system and your nerves healthy in that myelin sheath, and it's actually really, really healthy fatty foods, like health like meat organs and grass-fed butter and a lot of these things, but a lot of the my mom is, I think she'll be 74. Margarine, chicken breast, no healthy fats, and that can contribute to the breakdown of the protection of that the nerves need to have. And so it can be like this whole snowball thing. And um yeah, we do need, if you can't absorb the nutrients because of all sorts of different things, it can affect you. So I bet your mom and my mom eat similarly.
But now she's wearing the mouth guard because she was jealous
Okay.
of that. So she's getting better, hopefully.
Is
But
she noticing anything?
she tells me that she's sleeping better because she always had sleep
Good.
issues. But she's a bit more of a complex case because she's got dentures now. So with dentures, it's always more complex because when you put the dentures back in, like they've been designed to more or less lock a certain bite. So it's not gonna be such a straight line recovery with dentures. Like I've never had dentures. Like I've never had someone close work. So I don't know exactly how this plays out with dentures and what you got to do. You probably need to adjust the dentures like at regular intervals or something.
Which would
So
be really complicated and expensive.
yeah. Yeah, or like you convince the denture person to put you on a flat contact, but like good luck,
Yeah,
finding the person that
that's
does
just
that
it.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, where are you from in the States?
I'm from New York,
Okay, cool.
um, but I lived almost my entire adult life abroad.
Yeah, I've read
Mm.
about your travels, but I can hear that you grew
From
up
New
in the
York.
States somewhere. I don't know where, but not, and it's not
Yeah.
my business.
Yeah,
But
yeah. No, no, always New York.
my son, who did have braces, didn't, he's 21. We let his wisdom teeth come in. They did the 5-year X-ray and realized that 3 of the 4 wisdom teeth are growing in. I could show you a picture, and I hate to say this, but I can see why they want to remove his wisdom teeth. So his back molars are kinda flared out the way the root and the teeth are, and you've got a wisdom teeth coming in and jamming the top part of the root that doesn't have the protective enamel on it. And they also have the cysts around them from the friction, I guess. But they said that, you know, before too long, that's gonna damage the root of the molar next to it, and we're looking at taking not just the wisdom teeth out, but those molars as well because the root is gonna be damaged. And I don't know how, it makes sense to have these wisdom teeth removed now. They're slightly erupted, they're not completely impacted. But, mm,
Well,
you have any opinions on that?
yeah, my opinion's just he should wear a mouth guard every night. And if you can get a dentist to do it, just lift the back lower teeth. I did this to my son 3.5, 4 years ago. Put flat composite and make that the only contact in the mouth. So there'll be a small gap between the front teeth and just let everything expand and straighten out.
Well, he's actually almost got kind of an an overbite, his jaw. So he's and they said that it's really the top ones that are so bad. The bottom ones not as, if we have to make a choice. But the composite, you're talking about the things that you make yourself, right?
No, no, dentists use composite as
Oh,
fillings. So on my son, I had a dentist here in Thailand, put the composite on and it took 20 minutes. Like it's kind of like dental cement. It's made out of like a resin or something. You just put a bunch on the top and then use a fluorescent lamp and they just
and it stays on?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It stays on. He grinds it off a little bit. We put more on every 4 to 6 months. But and then with him, all his teeth before he was a mouth breather this 4 years ago, and I was fighting it with mouth guards, but he hated wearing mouth guards. So everything expanded out. He's got room for everything. Like his skull's shaped so much better. His body's like perfect naturally. This is why, like, I wouldn't take any wisdom teeth out. I wouldn't do any of that. I would just wear the mouth guard. And if he doesn't have to get the composite if he can wear like placards or something, but try to get out of the current occlusion during the day.
Yeah.
And he won't
Good
need to
luck
take
with the
anything.
20 good that'll be
Yeah, but
he's
like
21, you know, like
yeah, but we have so many 20-year-old kids in the community, and they're so motivated to do whatever because like all especially these young kids, like they're all about this looks maxing and like how's their jawline, their facial symmetry. That's all they talk about. And so they're willing to do whatever it takes.
they're
Like you'd be
understanding
surprised.
that they need to keep their teeth.
Teeth to teeth and like their looks are based on it.
Yeah.
So they understand now because of mewing and thumb pulling and all these trends that are big on TikTok and stuff, like they get the
Okay.
connection.
Cool. Well, I appreciate
So
that. I'll see what I can do.
yeah. Yeah.
It
Like
just that's a little frightening to see that. I mean, I can see what they're talking about with that. And I was like, darn it, I don't, but you think with the mouth guard that could eventually,
yeah, you'll make space. The rest of the teeth will align, like his face, his complexion, everything will like the complexion will improve. Like all you gotta tell a 21-year-old kid usually is like, you're gonna be better looking. Like, do you want to be better looking or not? And,
yeah.
or you could be worse looking and take all these teeth out, and like you're gonna shrivel up.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right.
Yep.
Thank you very much. I hope that was, I mean, I don't know what you may or may want to use, but I appreciate the conversation and I don't know. Maybe hopefully I can send you a message in however many months and be like, we gotta do this again. Well, you're not gonna believe everything.
Yeah. Give us an update when you're ready.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay.
Take care.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.